Hello everyone, welcome back to another Wreck This Journal video. It is my 10th video in this series, which is amazing. I have 3 more pages to share with you today, so let's get into it. The first page I will be sharing is Figure Out a Way to Freeze This Page. I was so excited for this page because I felt like I had a really unique idea for what to do with it. I had never seen anyone do this before. So I started out by cutting the page out of the book, crumpling it up, and popping it inside an ice cube tray. I know this doesn't seem revolutionary, but it gets better. If you saw my ice tie-dye video, you actually got a preview of what I'm about to do. I thought it would be so cool to see what would happen if I were to include my Wreck This Journal page ice cube in my ice tie-dye. So I placed it there, let it melt for a while, and I did decide to add more dye to it when it was about halfway melted because I really wanted to make sure that there was color getting onto the paper and not just washing away as the ice around the page melted. And once the ice had completely melted, I was left with my wet page that looked amazing. So I let that dry. Actually, there might have been a hairdryer involved in that process, not going to lie. But once it was dry, I just used a piece of washi tape to stick it back into my Wreck This Journal. And interestingly, this page did shrink a bit in this process. Next we have Squirt Liquid here. I was stumped for what to do for this page until my tie-dyeing experiment. I had leftover dye and thought it would be colorful, so let's do it. So I tore the page out of the book so it wouldn't ruin the pages around it. Then I put it on the rack I was using to prop up my tie-dye. And then I just tried to randomly spray it on the page. I like that the colors go well together and that they could blend into each other a bit, and I think it turned out decent in the end. And the last page I have to share today is the doodle over top of this page and in the margins. So I decided that I would try some Blackout Poetry. I am not a poet. This text was very much so just written to be a filler text that you could doodle over, but I was still able to go through and find some words that I liked. So I started by just reading through and circling in pencil the words I thought were interesting. It ended up being a lot of writing or creating type words, so that's what I went with. Once I had my words, I used some black craft paint to black out the rest of the page. I only needed 1 coat for this, which is surprising because it is somewhat thin paint. And because the page was set up in 2 columns, I wanted something to distinguish what words went together. So after I waited for the black paint to dry, I used my new Posca paint pen to make some lines connecting my words, giving it some sort of flow. And I also made some doodles, and this was great because if there was something I didn't like, I could just paint over it. So my poem, Doodle in the Margins, goes like this. Writing with intention, a canvas memory in crayons, pen scrawlings destined to be alluring you. Reading, arranging, experimenting, writing, documenting your life on paper. Not the best poem in the world. I don't have that much experience with Blackout Poetry, but I would like to do more in the future. It was fun. And that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!